These incredible feats of human creativity, skill, and engineering have captivated imaginations for centuries. As the list of the most iconic structures ever built, they were monuments to mankind's highest achievements. But even today, they remain shrouded in mystery and intrigue. What secrets do they hold? And why have these wonders persisted in human history? The answers might be more puzzling than we think. Let's begin with the first and perhaps most famous of the seven wonders, the Great Pyramid of Giza. Standing tall at over 450 feet, this monumental structure was the tallest man-made object on Earth for over 3,800 years. Built as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, it's a symbol of ancient Egypt's power and influence. But what if the pyramid was not just a tomb? What if it had a much deeper significance, something beyond a burial site? The precision of the pyramid's construction, aligned perfectly with the cardinal points and the stars, has led many to believe that it was created with advanced knowledge, far beyond the understanding of most ancient civilizations. Some even speculate that the Great Pyramid might have been built as a giant astronomical observatory or an energy device, ideas that have sparked debate and exploration for centuries. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, another of the seven wonders, continue to baffle historians and archaeologists alike. Described as a lush paradise of terraced gardens that hung in the air, this wonder has led many to question its existence. Some believe it was purely mythological, a creation of poets and storytellers. Others claim it was a real place, located in the heart of Babylon, though no definitive evidence of the gardens has ever been found. In fact, the gardens' very existence is so unclear that some experts argue that the gardens may have actually been located in Nineveh, thousands of miles away from Babylon. Whether it was real or imagined, the idea of a floating garden has become an enduring symbol of human creativity and our desire to harness nature's beauty. Moving on, the statue of Zeus at Olympia was another wonder that left its mark on the ancient world. This awe-inspiring statue, crafted by the master sculptor Phidias, depicted Zeus sitting on a throne, his powerful presence overwhelming all who gazed upon him. Made of ivory and gold, the statue stood over 40 feet tall, and it was said to be so lifelike that it almost seemed to come to life. But the statue's fate is as mysterious as its creation. It was destroyed sometime around the 5th century AD, though accounts of its destruction vary. Some claim it was destroyed by a fire, while others suggest it was moved to Constantinople before disappearing in an earthquake. The true story behind the statue's demise remains one of the great unsolved mysteries of ancient history. Next, we have the Temple of Artemis at Ephesus, one of the largest and most magnificent temples ever built. The temple was dedicated to the goddess Artemis, the protector of the hunt and wild animals, and it stood at an impressive 425 feet long and 220 feet wide. But the temple's destruction is almost as legendary as its grandeur. It was burned to the ground in 356 BC by a man named Herostratus, who sought to immortalize his name by committing this act of arson. While the temple was rebuilt, it was eventually destroyed once more, this time by the Goths in 262 AD. Yet, there are those who suggest that the temple's destruction might have been a deliberate attempt to erase the influence of one of the most powerful civilizations of its time, an idea that fuels ongoing debates about the true reasons behind its downfall. Another remarkable wonder was the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, an enormous tomb built for Mausolus, the ruler of Caria, and his wife, Artemisia. Standing over 140 feet tall, the mausoleum was decorated with intricate carvings and sculptures by renowned artists of the time. Its sheer scale and artistic beauty made it one of the most impressive monuments of the ancient world. But despite its grandeur, the mausoleum was eventually destroyed by a series of earthquakes, and today, only fragments of the original structure remain. Some historians believe that the destruction of the mausoleum was not merely a natural event, but rather a targeted effort to erase one of the greatest works of art and architecture from history. The Lighthouse of Alexandria, also known as the Pharos, was another wonder that amazed the ancient world. At over 400 feet tall, it was one of the tallest man-made structures of its time. Located on the small island of Pharos, the lighthouse guided sailors safely into the busy port of Alexandria, which was one of the most important cities of the ancient Mediterranean. The lighthouse's height and function as a navigational aid were groundbreaking in their time, but the story of its destruction is just as fascinating. The lighthouse was damaged by several earthquakes before finally collapsing in the 14th century. But the true extent of its significance is still debated. Could the lighthouse have held more than just a practical function? Was it a symbol of Alexandria's dominance in the ancient world, a beacon not just for ships but for the cultural power that the city represented? Finally, the Colossus of Rhodes, a towering statue of the sun god Helios, stood at the entrance of the harbor of Rhodes. This colossal statue was one of the tallest statues of the ancient world, standing over 100 feet tall. It was said to have been so impressive that ships could sail between its legs. Yet, this wonder didn't last long. Just 56 years after its completion, the Colossus was destroyed by an earthquake. The exact reason for its destruction remains unclear. Was it simply an act of nature, or was there something more behind it? Some believe that the destruction of the statue was a sign of divine retribution for the island's arrogance, while others argue that it was part of a wider effort to weaken the influence of Rhodes in the ancient world. As we consider these wonders, we begin to realize that the stories of their creation and destruction are far more complex than we've been led to believe. Could there be a hidden agenda behind the rise and fall of these wonders, one that goes beyond the mere ebb and flow of civilizations? What if their destruction was not the result of natural forces, but instead the result of deliberate actions, meant to erase the achievements of certain cultures and civilizations from history? And what if the seven wonders were not just feats of engineering, but symbols of something deeper, something we've yet to fully understand? Now, before we continue unraveling these mysteries, I want to remind you to subscribe to Surprise Insights. If you're fascinated by the mysteries of history, ancient wonders, and the secrets of the past, you'll want to be part of this journey. By subscribing, you'll join a community that seeks to uncover the truth behind the most intriguing stories and ask the questions that others are afraid to ask. Don't miss out on what's coming next. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss a single video. As we dive deeper into the history of these wonders, we're left with more questions than answers. Could the destruction of these wonders be part of a larger narrative, one that involves lost knowledge, hidden agendas, and the deliberate erasure of history? The answers may be waiting to be uncovered, and we'll keep searching until we find them. As we journey through the hidden history of these wonders, we find that the stories behind them are not just about architectural marvels, but about the power struggles, cultural clashes, and secrets that have been buried for centuries. The destruction of the seven wonders could be seen as a deliberate act to rewrite history, a way to reshape the world according to the victor's desires. Take, for example, the Great Pyramid of Giza. While we often think of it as a tomb for the pharaoh Khufu, many researchers have suggested that the pyramid could have had a much more significant role in ancient Egyptian society. Some believe it was an astronomical observatory. Others think it might have been a giant energy generator capable of harnessing the Earth's natural forces. But what if these theories are being suppressed to protect a certain narrative? What if the pyramid was destroyed, or at least concealed, to prevent the knowledge it contained from reaching future generations? The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, too, pose an intriguing mystery. If they existed, they could have been more than just a beautiful garden. Some theorists suggest that the gardens might have been a symbol of the ancient Mesopotamians' advanced knowledge of irrigation systems. Imagine a civilization so advanced that they could create a self-sustaining, hanging garden in the middle of a desert. Could this knowledge have been lost? And if so, who benefited from its disappearance? What did the powers of Babylon have to gain by hiding such an extraordinary achievement? The statue of Zeus, once a symbol of Greek artistry and religious devotion, was more than just a statue. Some suggest it was a political tool, a representation of Zeus' divine rule over the ancient Greek world. But why was it destroyed? Was it merely a victim of time and natural disasters, or was its fall the result of political forces trying to dismantle the power of the gods in favor of more human-centered ideologies? What if there were more behind the statue's destruction than we have been led to believe? The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus was one of the largest temples in the ancient world, dedicated to a goddess who represented fertility and protection. But the destruction of the temple by Herostratus, who sought immortality by burning it down, might be a story that hides deeper motivations. Was Herostratus just a madman, or was he acting as a pawn in a larger game? What if the destruction of the temple was a move to suppress the worship of a goddess that held too much power for certain political factions? Theories about ancient religions and their suppression have been around for centuries, but we may never know the true story. Then there's the mausoleum at Halicarnassus, a tomb that was meant to honor a king and his queen, but whose destruction has left historians scratching their heads. Some believe that the collapse of this wonder was not an accident, but part of a larger effort to destroy symbols of royal power that might have threatened emerging empires. After all, mausoleums like this were not just tombs, they were propaganda. They were meant to glorify rulers and their legacies. But what if the collapse of such symbols was orchestrated to make way for a new world order? The Lighthouse of Alexandria, guiding sailors through dangerous waters, was more than just a practical structure. Some theories suggest that the lighthouse had hidden knowledge embedded within its design, perhaps a symbol of ancient secrets that were meant to guide humanity to greater heights. The collapse of the lighthouse, after multiple earthquakes, may not have been just a natural disaster, but rather part of a larger effort to erase the knowledge it contained. Could the lighthouse have held knowledge about navigation, astronomy, or even lost technologies that were too dangerous for the world to know? Finally, the Colossus of Rhodes, which stood as a symbol of the might of the island, was destroyed by an earthquake, but some believe that its fall could have been part of a broader campaign to weaken the power of Rhodes. The destruction of this towering statue may have been a statement, a message that no power, no matter how mighty, could stand the test of time. Was this earthquake simply a force of nature, or was it the final blow in a war to strip power from those who defied the tides of history? As we look at these wonders, we can't help but wonder, were their creators trying to convey a deeper message? Were they trying to show us something that, for whatever reason, we are not meant to understand? The 7 wonders of the ancient world are more than just relics of the past. They are symbols of the power, knowledge, and mysteries of lost civilizations. But here's the thing, history is written by the victors. If these wonders were so powerful and so significant, why are they lost to time? Why are so many of their secrets shrouded in mystery? Could it be that someone or something has worked to keep the truth hidden? Is it possible that these wonders were deliberately destroyed or obscured to prevent certain knowledge from spreading to future generations? The questions continue to pile up, and with each answer, more mysteries seem to unfold. I want to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think really happened to the 7 wonders of the ancient world? Were they simply casualties of time and nature, or is there a conspiracy at play, one that has been keeping their secrets hidden for millennia? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. At Surprise Insights, we're always on the lookout for the most thrilling and mind-bending stories, and we need your insights to help us uncover the truth. As we continue to dive deeper into these wonders, we might just uncover the hidden histories that have been buried for thousands of years. The truth is out there, and with your help, we're getting closer to discovering it. So, let's keep exploring these fascinating topics together, and who knows what we'll uncover next.